Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. Hope you're well out there. Hope you're having a great. I'm sure this is someday. Hope you're having a great day. I'm okay. Sorry about that. I meant to shart. I meant to shart. That's that's how I'm opening the show tonight. I meant to shart. Unfortunately, it was dry. No, I meant to start the show a couple of minutes ago, but I had a thought with something that I wanted to add. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to. We'll explain it later. But I was hoping to find something that just didn't have quite enough time. If I'd been thinking, I would have done it about an hour ago. And well, it's my brain. So, John Migda, thank you so much for the donation. It says late. I appreciate it. Thank you for noticing. Remember, I am never late. The show starts exactly when it is supposed to. Perfect title. Thank you. I was proud of myself for that one. Since Shane Cashman gets trafficked by Eliza Bleu. She really did turn him into her bitch, didn't he? Or didn't she? I mean, she pimped his ass out. Whew. Good job, Eliza. Now, guys, I know there's a lot of you who are tired of the Eliza stuff, but this one, it's not so much about her as it is about Shane Cashman from Timcast there, because wow. I finally got to read the second part of his interview / puff piece / how far can I stick my nose right up this woman's ass Timcast expose. Interesting that she agreed to meet with you like this. But the first part was kind of vague and rambly, and me and Jack talked about it at the time, that the majority of it could be skipped over because it has nothing to do with the Eliza Bleu situation. And I guess we should have known it at the time that it was just a sign of things to come. And yeah, it's this the second article makes the first one look pretty decent by comparison, honestly, because at least there's nothing in the first one I can point to and go, well, that's just wrong. Doc, thank you so much. See the video where Ian was getting a MS Blue foot job special on the couch? I did not. I have not seen that. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about the article because I am still interested in the story. I know that I'm a drama whore and that's a me problem. But you know, I don't even know how I want to say this because I was annoyed at this article in ways that I probably shouldn't be. Is it this one? Yes. There we go. This is the article, Cashman, Eliza Bleu and the Perpetual Trauma Machine, Part 2. Dun, dun, dun. The article's so important that they had to do it twice. They needed two of them to get it out because in the first article, he spent way too much time talking about fucking nothing. So in this one, he actually talks to Eliza's mom about the trauma she went through and all of the stuff that she knows, which is funny because Eliza tells us often that she does not talk to her parents about this stuff. She hid all this stuff from her parents. Her parents didn't know anything that was really going on. But in here, mom knows all the deets, man. I don't blame Tim Pool in this situation. I blame all the YouTubers that are dogpiling him for not reading their pre-approved script. I blame Tim Pool for being a fence-sitting jackass. Look, he could ignore it completely. Just take all their money. And instead, he's attacked his audience. This is his website that this comes from. This is the Timcast website. He allowed this shit to be published on his site. And it's nonsense. It's just nonsense. He could have shut the hell up about it, but instead he decides to get in a mini war with the quartering over it. It's fucking stupid, man. Brittany and the gals having a bomb stream. Good for them. This article, though, it came out, on the 8th, I think? Yeah, right there. It says on the 8th. So yesterday. And I didn't get a chance to read it until like literally 2 hours ago. He's just now come around, the fence-sitting prick. Yeah, once it well, it's weird. It's weird because he still hasn't quite come around. At least last I saw. Last I saw, he was like, "Why would we even talk about her? She's irrelevant." This woman that he's had on his show twice, and that he's got 2 articles on his site by Mr. Cashman here about. She's irrelevant. Pick one, Timmy. Just pick one of those. You can't even stay off the fence on that shit. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so Tim here allows Shane to write this, and look, he's allowed to write whatever he wants. He can publish whatever he wants. Tim can go, hey, I just let them write what they want. Hey, who cares about editorial standards? Even by today's journalistic standards, which are ridiculously low, this is a bad piece. This is a puff piece. This is a guy. Do you guys know what a mark is? If I called somebody a mark, you know what that would mean? It's not like black slang or anything. This is a very simple term. Shane's a mark. A mark is somebody that a con person looks for. A con man's like, I need a mark, the person that I'm going to use my con on. And I'll give you an example of what I mean here. In this article, he conflates this idea that, oh, you see, in order for the detractors to be true, she would have had to have been like planning this for decades. What? Why? No. She can take bits and pieces of her life and put it together in a way that fools journalists, we'll get to that in a minute, and not have been planning this for years and years and years. Not at all. Instead, all she has to do, for instance, she claims that she was trafficked by 3 people, technically, but 2 is what she usually talks about. The musician that she met when she was 17, and then an unnamed athlete later on. So she's never named him ever at all, ever. But for Shane, she does name the musician. He won't share it because he's not going to break her confidence or anything, which is fine. It's fine. But he goes and verifies this guy. He verifies the musician. And here's how he does it. He looked around, found the guy's name, found where he lived when she was 17. And guys, it was 3 blocks away from where she lived. So that doesn't prove anything. That just proves that she knows a name of somebody who lived there. It is probably somebody she met. Does that mean he was whoring her out? Because remember, she was a prostitute, not a sex trafficking victim. She was a prostitute. Does that mean he wasn't a pimp? No. Does it mean he was? No. It just means she remembers a name from back then that lived close to her, who was a musician at the time, or maybe still is. They're really cagey about this shit in there. It just means she knew a name. And yeah, if you were going to tell a story and be like, yes, I was trafficked by so-and-so, you would pick somebody who you knew lived around you at that time. You wouldn't randomly name a musician from the East Coast. You know what I mean? It would be, chances are she knew people there. Yeah, that's what you proved. Good job. Alan, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it, my friend. Did I say thank you for the other donation? I think I did. Anyway, thank you for all of them. It doesn't prove anything, but old Shane here, man, like, oh, see, I mean, it's not proof, but I mean, she named a name. And apparently from the night when she first talked to him, because in the first article, she repeats something that she repeated over and over and over and over again, where she says that she hasn't even checked on him. She doesn't know if the guy's alive or dead. Check Twitter DMs, Tim Pool's apology. Oh, I'll check that out, Seal. Thank you. And thank you for the donation. But she's repeated over and over, I don't even know if the guy's dead or alive. Well, the way this story goes, Shane meets with her for a little bit. They go out to a truck stop that has cowboy hats, which apparently is very important. And then she drops him off at her mom's house where he's going to sleep. And then the next day they meet back up. And she decided that night she would check and see if the guy was still alive. And he is. Uh, okay. I don't know what that even has to do with anything. Again, there's no proof that this guy did anything. He might have. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not. But none of that proves anything. I could name you names of people that I've lived around throughout my life, and I can give you the dates because I know when I fucking lived there, so I know when I knew them, and be like, yeah, Tom trafficked me. And then you look it up and go, oh my God, Tom lived right next door to Monkey. Monkey must have been a whore. No, I just pulled a name out of my ass because it's one I can remember from them. Was he so old she would have expected him to have died by now? Well, no, Faithless. What she says is that, she didn't know if he was alive or dead because, I mean, the drug life and all the alcohol and the drugs and the drugs and the drugs, in case you missed the drugs, which, by the way, this needs brought up. Apparently, y'all, apparently her drugs were intermittent. They were intermittent. But she was an alcoholic sometimes, but it was mostly the sometimes. Snubber, thank you. Apparently, goblins, 19th century old folk tales, were designed anti Semitic. Apparently, you learn something new about the Irish every day. In a lot of modern tellings, if people were making the connection between goblins and Jews, I could see it. Does that mean that's exactly what they are? No, but there's some depictions that are like, oh, okay, that's a little close, fellas. It's a little close. Yeah. What, could you not just find a beanie for him? What were you missing there? Hashtag not all, but I get your point, Stubber. Anyhow, back to Miss Eliza and Shane. I want to concentrate on one part of this story. Did I throw this into chat for you guys? I don't think I did. We're not reading the whole goddamn thing because, once again, it is a meandering tale because Shane is a horrible fucking writer. He really is. Tim, you should be upset that you hired this guy as a writer. He's fucking horrible at it. So they get to talking about the World Star Hip Hop video. I don't know if I'm even going to get to the right part. But he asked her about it. What about the World Star Hip Hop video? What about that? What about that? And she's like, well, look, people don't really know what's going on with that. People don't understand what's going on. They just don't get it. I want to set the timeline for you again. Eliza Blue's own wording is that she left the life in mid 2013. She fell back in for a little bit, but by 2014, she's out, completely out of the life, out. So that means 2015, when the video was shot, and 2016, when it was uploaded, are past her trafficking phase. Everybody with me on that? Everybody got that? He never asks about this problem. He never asks about the timeline problem. Like, wait a minute, wait. You say this is being taken down for legal reasons, and she hints heavily that it was a trafficked thing. We were trafficked, I was trafficked, you see. I was trafficked. Do you know about trafficking? I was trafficked. She hints over and over that that's why, look, it's legal. It's legal. And I told my lawyers, and the lawyers went and they told all of these people, and they all agreed to pull it down because they saw that it was a legal issue and it was wrong. They pulled it down because, like in the case of YouTube, if they receive a privacy complaint like that, they just pull it down. They don't adjudicate it there. They don't. It's very much like a copyright claim. They're just like, okay, we got the thing down. And then all of the fighting afterwards is between other parties. But she uses that as proof. See, we showed Twitter and they pulled it down. All you had to do to Twitter say this is a privacy thing, and they pulled it down. That's it, period. End of story. It's not like they did their own investigation. It's not like they read your lawyer's papers and went, oh, yeah, this really is. They pulled it down before you could have ever given your lawyers the information. So stop it. Knock it off. Does Shane ask about that? Does he bring that up? Nah, because Shane's a bad reporter. He doesn't ask about the timeline. He doesn't ask about the inconsistency there. But that's what she points to see, they all know it's real. And a whole bunch of people have read this. The top response, or at least the first response I saw when you go to Shane tweeting this out, is somebody going, "Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew Eliza was right and that all the bad people were wrong. I knew it. There's the proof." There's no proof. There's no proof of fucking anything in here. In fact, we get more lies from Eliza, because she's told us in the tough love piece, she's asked how long. It's either how long she was in LA the first time or how long she was back at home. I forget which, but she's asked that. I don't remember. I'd have to ask my mom, and I don't talk to her about things like this. We don't just, nah. Oddly enough, her mom's in on all of it, according to this. Mom knew everything the whole time. So Eliza's been lying about whether or not her mom knew or didn't. I'm not sure. Eliza. God, I keep saying Elijah, don't I? My bad. Eliza. We'll just call her Blowy McBlow. It seemed kind of fitting, actually. So the 2016 World Star Hip Hop video, which happens after any trafficking, gets taken down. And she's like, well, what about the people who say free speech? And she tells us, I didn't have really anything to do with any of that. Even though she's telling us the whole time that she went to Twitter and YouTube and World Star Hip Hop, and I forget, she names a couple of other places, to have it removed. She's getting that all removed there, but she had nothing to do with the individual accounts on Twitter. No. Because she actually says, I'm so free speech that I got up in front of the Justice Department and said, if it comes down to free speech or the government, I'm for free speech. It's if we have to get rid of one of them, then we're keeping free speech, because she's such a badass. Such a badass. Ooh, scurry. Way to take a stand there, Eliza. Blowy McBlow. She's so in favor. Guys, she's an ANCAP. She says, I'm an anarchist. Actually, I'm an ANCAP. Like, yeah, that explains it. You are a fucking moron. No offense to ANCAPs out there. You can't be anything. It's just anarchy or nothing. Sorry. Snubber, thank you. How do you tell your parents how you were sexually trafficked? They are literally next of kin. Or how do you not tell them? Well, that's another interesting part, Snub. There's so much to this fucking conflated story. All right, let's back up to her mom. So he asked her mom about, okay, when Eliza comes home, this is after she's 17. This is, she goes out to LA. She's trafficked. She's sold to this trans pimp. He's not trans. He just pimps out trans people. And he's returned because she's just too much of a headache. He paid $500 and a pimp returned a hoe for free. That happens every day in America. And she ends up in a ditch or under an overpass or something, left for dead. And she ends up at Cedars-Sinai Hospital for an overdose. And he asked her, how did you first find out that Eliza overdosed? And she said, when I got a call from Cedars-Sinai. Like, there's a problem right there, because they have no idea how Cedars-Sinai got mom's information. Because Eliza says, I don't know if I had ID or an insurance card on me. And her mom says the way that they knew to contact her was through her insurance. Again, we have problems with shit lining up. But okay, let's go with it. Let's say somehow Cedars-Sinai got a hold of her insurance without her having an insurance card. Sure. And they call up her mom. All right. Here's the thing. The thing was billed as a ambulance ride and a rape kit. That's how it was billed. Those two things. Nothing for any overdose treatment. Nothing. And apparently the rape kit, I don't know if it did or not. This is what they're saying, turned up as positive. I'm not saying the woman was never sexually assaulted. I think she's kind of, I don't want to say this properly, been inconsistent in who and how and when she says that thing happened. But anyway, it is weird that the insurance company, they're like, you know what? Or the hospital's like, look, You got to pay for this rape kit. You got to pay for that ambulance ride. All of the medical treatment for the overdose, we'll cover that. Well, we're going to take that's on us. But you got to pay for this rape kit. Your daughter getting raped, you need to pay for that. We'll take care of her drug problem. We'll make sure we pump her stomach and get her the medicines that counteract it. But that, hey, you got to pay for being raped, damn it. Like, really? That seems odd for a hospital to do. But anyway, so yeah, apparently mom knew from the beginning. And then Eliza tells us all along that her parents didn't know anything about what happened to her. Didn't know anything about what happened to her in LA. They just knew they had to come get her. Bullshit. The police pay for rape kits. Look, Assassin the Gray. I'm telling you what the bitch says in the article. And this is coming from her mother, who says that she works in healthcare, so she understands all the billing and stuff. This is why Eliza doesn't do interviews, because the more she actually has to answer questions, the more questions pop up. For instance, questions Shane should have asked, like, wait a minute, they didn't charge anything for the overdose or the stay in the hospital? That's weird. All right. Yeah, why not? Just like, hey, fuck it. You were trafficked in this video that was made a year after you say the trafficking ended. Because this is the big part that Eliza says in here too. Like, look, people say that I wasn't trafficked because I did other things. But here's the thing. You wouldn't know who's being trafficked. It happens to it could be the person at the nail salon. It's an actual thing that she says. Yeah, maybe. Perhaps. But I mean, you're telling me your pimp, the one who made you go out every night, according to other stories you've told us, he's like, all right, I'm going to give you 3 months off to go do things you want to do. You go do the things you want to do. Come back in 3 months and we're going to pimp that puss again. Sure. Why not? Yeah, that sounds like a modern day pimp who is so controlling of you that he beats your ass and threw you. No, it was her husband that threw her downstairs. We should get to that too. Who beats you up so bad that they put you into traction or whatever the hell it did to you. Thank you for the lemon huggy there, Prince of Cats. And Sever, thank you. Rape kits are usually covered. At most, your insurance may make you pay for some obscure hospital thing that they're really petty, that are real petty, like graham crackers. Yeah, I mean, that would be what I would expect. It coming through that you got to pay for that rape kit. What? That seems weird. Look, hospitals can be cold-blooded, so I mean, maybe. Imagine Monk looks like the dude with blonde hair. What dude with blonde hair? Anyway, so yeah, it's just a nonsense article, but let's get to the bottom. This is the part that kind of blew up yesterday. And I missed it. I hate when I miss shit. Earlier on in this article, Mr. Shane here said, look, I'm gonna reach out to the people that got kicked off the platform, that got kicked off Twitter, and I want to get statements from them. And he says this. I realize at this point that it wasn't even worth it to seek quotes from these people because they merely exist in the distant margins of this entire story. But in their narcissism, they see themselves as the center of the story. Well, you're literally doing a story about this because they were censored. They are the center of the story, homie. That's the only reason you did this thing on Eliza Bleu. Until this blew up, you had no plans to go do that. Knock it off. Anyhow, these content creators who live stream for hours and hours every day about Eliza had also already said everything they had to say. Well, until your story came out, homie, because he's mad. Up a little further, he's talking about how the mob came after him. They all came after him, damn it. And that's what led him to this. I realized at this point. Where are we? They will probably read this and continue to speak out of both sides of their mouths, saying they don't want a war. I'll take a war, bitch, because you're a lying piece of shit. You're a horrible journalist. And if you want to come on my show and talk about what a shitty journalist you are, I am happy to have that conversation because this is bad journalism. This is suck up fluff journalism. You should be ashamed of writing this shit. You should be ashamed of what a fucking mark you are as a grown ass man. Was that too loud? Should I have quieted? Sometimes I shoot off at the mouth. Reference. All right. But also insidiously antagonizing their audience to believe they have a firm handle on this whole situation. Nobody has a firm handle on this situation because the bitch keeps lying. She keeps changing her story. She keeps changing everything. And yeah, Rogue Thought, I know this is a reference to the quarterings thing because he's like, I don't want a war with Tim Pool. We'll get to the quartering in a minute. And this is no shade at their audience. Oh, see, guys, it's not you guys. It's me. It's not you. It's me. We probably share some of the same audience. Yeah, I bet that's dwindling. But the audience most likely has real jobs and doesn't have the time to spend sitting in front of a computer digging into this story as much as we all have in our various ways. The audience has learned to trust all of us for our different perspectives. I think you're kind of shattering that, my friend. And we have all been right and wrong throughout the years on some important topics. Some of us more than others. Thank you, Lone Star. Lone Star got it. But these content creators, as of this exact moment, have tripped over their lynch mob brain as they perform pseudo-intellectual pole dances on their webcams. And now, as I started to look deeper into this entire smear campaign, which seemed to initially be rooted in genuine concern, it made sense to me that these people were screaming just to be heard. Wow. That's how he finishes this article on Eliza Bleu. You can't have it both ways, dude. You're only talking about this story because it blew up. You basically told us that in the first thing. And now you have it here. We're like, no, it's just them. Yeah, they are the center of the story. What are you talking about? Thank you, Godzilla, who says, this guy is ridiculous. It's clearly a fluff piece. It absolutely is. It's fucking retarded. He's only simping for her because she gave him a little attention. Maybe. I think he's simping for her because she's a good con artist. She's a good con artist. And one of the things you do not want to do, and hear me out, guys, if you ever have the chance to talk to a con artist and they're going to explain their side of some story, don't take their word for it. Just don't, because they're known liars. They're good at what they do. They're very good at manipulating people. It's what makes them con men. And if you listen to them, they will sound like, oh yeah, they're the nicest people. If you just got to know them, you would see that all of this stuff, it's just lies about them. You're a mark, Shane. You're a fucking mark. Mark ass bitch. By the way, you know that all of that stuff with the legals, my legal team, they didn't show Shane any of that stuff. Oddly enough, he just takes it on the word of Eliza because all of these things got pulled down, even though getting pulled down is typically just the way that the companies handle it. So they don't have to be the arbiter here. They're like, yeah, our hands are off at this point. I would ask, hey, can I see the legal documents? What did they send to Twitter? Oh no, we can't let that out because it's a legal thing. You can talk about legal things. You really can. You could come out and say, look, this happened in 2013 when I was being trafficked still. That's all you got to say. Because she says, look, I'm not saying World Star Hip Hop did anything wrong. I'm not saying the director and his lovely girlfriend did anything wrong. I'm not saying they did anything wrong. Wasn't them. Not them. Not them. Okay. Your ass is covered right there. All you got to say is, I was still being trafficked. She won't even come out and say that. She just leaves it up in the air and feeds this fucking retard what he wants to hear because she's a con artist. Now, to some of his final points there, I do want to be fair. One of the things, what I was looking for before the show, the reason that it didn't start at 11:10, even though I was sitting right here and ready to go, I was looking for this video, and specifically a part in this video. This is the quartering reacting to um, Fair and Balanced when she ripped into him. And there's a specific statement that the quartering says in there. I don't remember it exactly, so this is a paraphrase. I want to make that clear. But he says something to the effect of he sacrificed his Twitter for this. I'm paraphrasing, but it's what he said. Basically, as I've been telling you, he purposefully got his Twitter banned for a little bit. He did it on purpose. He knew it was going to happen. He knew that would make the story go bigger for him. And it's excellent marketing. And yes, there are people who are just milking the ever-loving shit out of this, as always happens with any kind of drama. There's certain people who, yeah, they'll talk about it no matter what else there is to talk about because this gets the views. Fair enough. But that's not everybody. And they talk about all kinds of, even with Jeremy, while he's talked about this, he's done other videos about other stuff. It's not like he's been 24/7 Eliza Bleu since this blew up. He's done a couple of videos about it that are related to when things happen. And then otherwise he's talking about other things that have happened, like he does with everything. Oh no, it's just not worth talking to them because they're just in it to scream to be heard. No, they're people who are talking about this because it is important. If this woman is stealing the pain of others to try to excuse her prostitution that she's ashamed of, and rightfully so, and trying to make herself a victim as a victim's advocate. You don't have to be a victim to be an advocate for victims. But she's old and nobody will look at her for any other reason because she's obviously fading. Thank you, Scrappy Pirate, from a lurker who appreciates the show the next day regularly. Thank you so very much for that, Scrappy. I appreciate it. It's just amazing to me that this guy fell for this so hard. And if you do read the story, I'm not going to recommend it, but I always tell you, read it, get your own opinion on it, because I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. But, I mean, this is some of the worst writing about a story I've seen outside of Medium. Outside of some Medium shit that Frost throws at me just to annoy me from time to time. What's up, Jack? How you doing tonight?
Let's not talk about me. How you doing?
Let's not talk about me. Let's just talk about Eliza Bleu and this stupid ass article. Did you read the follow up to the Shane Cashman one?
No, I've been dealing with stuff all day.
Well, it came out yesterday, is why I asked. He did his part. He did his part 2 on Eliza, and it is straight trash. Just straight trash.
Oh, little
he ends
balls, work the shaft kind of thing.
If it came out that she blew him for this kind of coverage, I wouldn't be shocked. I'll put it that way. I'm not saying she did, you guys, but I wouldn't be surprised in the least.
Got some Zoe Quinn action going on.
Oh, it's bad, man. It is fucking bad. Oh wow, man, we've got lots watching on Rumble tonight. Thank you guys. Don't forget, we are on Rumble and YouTube, so you get to take your pick of where you want to watch, and I appreciate you watching on either platform, man. That's awesome, dude. But what was I saying? Oh, so at the end of his article, Jack, he basically takes a shot at anybody who's like covering this. Mostly it's a shot at the quartering and probably Venti. Maybe a little bit of that umbrella guy. But early in the article, he's like, I talked to my producer, my editor, or whatever he says, and said, I'm going to get quotes from the people who were silenced by her. And then at the end of the article, he goes, I realized there was no point to it because they're basically just drama whores. I'm paraphrasing, but I read it to the audience a moment ago. Guys, am I wrong on that? He basically, they're drama whores is what it comes down to. Super, super bad article. Seriously. Over on the Streamlabs real quick before we move along, if it'll load up for me. There we go. Keldrig, thank you so much. The lesson I've learned from this is don't name your kids Shane unless you want them to turn out damaged. That's fair. The article is full of more inconsistencies. It doesn't ask the questions that it should. The guy just takes her story, swallows it like she used to swallow a client, and prints it. Now, we were told that Tim Pool had an apology, and oh, the quartering apologized to Tim Pool, and Tim Pool, wow, this is kind of gay, really.
It was Tim Pool like, oh, why are you trying to date me? Have another little Twitter meltdown. Is that what happened here?
No, not exactly. The quartering says, "Stronger together. I am sorry," at Timcast. And Tim Pool said, "Together again. This past week of insanity with Veritas and these Republicans getting shot made me realize we have to stand together. I'm sorry too, Jeremy. Let's not let them distract and disrupt us."
Did they use a hashtag for stand together?
Oh, they should have, but no, unfortunately.
Ugh, so gay.
Oh, fuck off. Look, this was going to be the result of this specific beef all along, because the quartering likes to start little fights and then become friendly.
Well, yeah, I mean, chase that clout.
As long as you got a big channel. As long as he has something to gain from it. Yeah. He's a giant marketing machine. It's what he is.
Yeah, he's very good at marketing.
Yeah. But they're going to pretend now that there's no reason to actually be talking about this or anything. I mean, Tim Pool called you and your audience idiots, dude. I'm paraphrasing that too, but seriously, that's what he did. And you're like, "Stronger together. We'll take all 50 states." Never mind. I'm going to be nice. I'll be nice until later when I'm not. But there it is, guys. There's the second article. It was dumb as shit. It was a fluff piece. It was. Actually, calling it a fluff piece is an insult to fluff pieces. This was just bad. It was bad. So, fuck Shane, fuck Tim, and fuck them all. They're a bunch of idiots.
Well, she probably has, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, they might have got in there. I have no idea if they did or not. At least then it would make sense to me. If he got a blowjob to write that, I'd be like, all right, I understand. But if he didn't at least get a hand job out of that, you a mark-ass bitch is what you are.
Huh.
Anyhow.
Oh, that reminds me. Thank you, Okie Native, for that donation on the Bitcoin there. Appreciate it, man.
Now, I don't know what's going on with the Republicans that got shot. I've been out of the news for a little bit here. What are they talking about? Do you know that one, Jack?
Yeah. Remember that New Jersey councilwoman that got shot last week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it happened again in New Jersey. New Jersey Republican councilman got shot.
Wow.
His name was Russell Heller.
No, I hadn't seen that there was a second one. That sucks.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll pull up the article on it, because there seems to be a growing trend of people getting shot for some sort of like, oh look, I have this opinion. Bang.
Well, we said, I mean, as soon as we heard the details of how she got shot, that sounded like a hit. So
yeah.
And not necessarily a professional hit, but somebody did it on purpose to kill her. It wasn't a random act of violence. I'm not shocked by that, honestly. It's unfortunate. And go ahead and tell me all about the stochastic terrorism of the right. We've seen this shit before.
Yeah. Councilman Russell Heller, 51, was in his car in the parking lot of the PSE&G factory or facility, in Somerset County, when a former worker approached his car and shot him, according to a statement from the prosecutor's office. At least they know who did this one.
Right.
Police received multiple 911 calls Wednesday. The councilman who represents Milford was inside his car. Police identified the shooter as former employer Gary Curtis, 58.
Do they know where he was last week?
I don't think so. But Curtis was found dead. He did it self-inflicted.
Oh.
And it was just last week that Eunice Dwumfor, 30 years old, was shot in Sayreville. I don't know how to pronounce that. That was last Wednesday, but there is no obvious connection, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was one. So I thought it's a little suspicious that in 1 week, 2 councilmen are gunned down.
It's very suspicious. Anyhow. Oh, somebody sent me the video of Eliza being hoary with the Tim crew. Huh.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one.
I had not seen that yet. I'll pay more attention to it after the show.
It's gross. It looks like some high schoolers filmed it. It's that same kind of like, oh, yeah, I like you. Yeah. Let's flirt.
Do you get the feeling that she's still trying to relive her high school years? Maybe because she went to homeschooling?
That would not surprise me. Some people are kind of trapped in a certain stage in life or are having like the midlife crisis that takes them back there because that was their glory days kind of thing.
Yeah. And she missed hers, and that's a thing you run into. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble with the whole thing where I don't want to be famous. By the way, I've always wanted to be famous. Who can I suck up to? I don't want to be famous. Who can I go on your show? I don't want to be famous.
I don't want to be famous, but let me use every opportunity to become famous.
You know, she says that she never wanted to be part of it, and that the Daily Wire folks, when they wrote their story on this, they pretty much insisted that she had to out herself because it'd make the story more powerful. That's fine. You know what you could have done at that point? Say no to every interview. No, thank you. It's not what I'm here for.
Well, now, Monkey, that would be intelligent.
Yeah.
And that's
but
not going to happen.
It changes back and forth whether she wants to be famous or not. Because, yes, I've always wanted to be famous. I've made that clear, except for when I say I don't want to be famous. It changes. Anyhow, little football news. The football awards were done tonight. I can't believe they've turned this into an actual awards show that they show on television.
Do they call them the footies?
The what?
The footies? Football awards?
I'm pretty sure they just call them the football awards.
That's lame. That's a boring title.
Patrick Mahomes named MVP, which I think is a travesty because Travis Kelce should have gotten it. Mahomes is great, but without Kelce this year, motherfucker had 14 catches in the playoff game, dude. I know that doesn't mean anything to you. 14. That is amazing for a tight end. Without Kelce, they don't make it to the Super Bowl. He was more valuable than Mahomes this year. But you don't get MVP as a tight end. So, unless you're Eliza Bleu.
Merle had a good question. Is it high school or traffic school?
Well, that's actually there's kind of a funny little part to that because she says that she went in for another rape kit. This girl got raped a lot, and I'm not making light of that, but goddamn, lady, get a gun. And she ends up getting arrested, and it was because she missed a traffic school, basically.
Oh wow.
She didn't go to her required stuff, and so they arrested her. And the female officer that arrested her had tears in her eyes over it. She didn't care, I promise. Anyhow, Tyreek Hill.
Call bullshit anyway.
Tyreek Hill has declined without Mahomes. Yeah, Hill thought he was more important than he was. He's done good out there with the Dolphins, the premier player like he was with Mahomes. Frosty Glass, thank you. 14 is amazing for a tight end, Monkey. Oh man, yeah, that sounds bad when you put it that way.
Out of context, that's
horrible out of context. Yeah.
Yeah.
But 14 catches for a tight end, how about that? Is amazing. And I still think the Chiefs lose this weekend. I hope they win because I'm rooting for them, but I think the Eagles have a better all-around team. But let's talk about, we're still kind of Twitter related. Andy No got kicked off of Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's not kicked off of Twitter. It's another one of those things where he has to delete tweets and they'll let him back.
Yeah.
But the tweets in question, he's not retweeting people. He's taking screenshots and putting them up of people saying horrible stuff on their Twitter. And Twitter's like, well, you can't do that because that can still incite those people to go do violence. And under most circumstances, Jack, I would disagree with that. Hear me out. I still don't think he should be kicked off for it. But with the number of Antifa folks that follow him, if I were them, that's how I would get my message out. I would use it through him. Just post something ridiculous, take it down an hour later, knowing that he's going to put it up and that all your little Antifa buddies are going to see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it, but
yeah, it's still not a reason for Twitter to be taking it down because he's not doing it for that reason. He's not doing it to promote violence. He's doing it to show what shitheads these guys are. And that is a noble goal. But they're like, no, you see, if you put that up there, it's still up there. And even though we didn't take down the account that did it, you're bad. Which is like, what? I don't understand.
This Ella Irwin that's running their trust and safety council, she really is ban happy.
She's
terrible. She's as bad as whatever they had before, if not worse.
Burrows and the Bengals are amazingly good on the road. They weren't 2 weeks ago. They weren't in Kansas City. Burrows is good, and there's a good chance Cincinnati makes it to a Super Bowl here again without getting embarrassed in it soon. But I'm not as big on him as everybody else is. Anyhow, yeah, Andy getting kicked down is a dumbass reason to do it, and they should be ashamed of this. Ella, stop it. It would be one thing if she was banning the accounts that wrote the shit initially, but she's not doing that.
No, they didn't get punished at all. Instead, Andy did.
Yeah, for reposting what they put up. And her thing is, if he had just retweeted it, because then they take the tweet down, that's fine. But then there's not an evidence trail of it. The kind of stuff that we've been looking at over and over for years now of what Antifa does and how Twitter's never taken really action against these guys until Elon gets in there and then they're like, wait, you guys are banning us for violence now? But even then, it's a rare occasion. Because we only saw, 5 or 10 of them get banned, and they were like, oh my God, you're banishing us.
Yeah.
The people who were calling for violence after, what was the shooting down there in Atlanta at the autonomous forest zone.
Yeah.
Out there in Sherwood Forest. Those people didn't get kicked off the platform for it.
No.
I understand the thinking. I do. But the context does matter. It would be different if Andy was secretly Antifa and that was, hey, just send it through me, guys. I'll get it out there. But I think we've seen if he's secretly Antifa, man, he has put his heart and soul into that act.
He's some deep cover.
Deep cover. Knock me retarded, would you? Then people will never suspect. But he's not. He's a journalist who's repeating, what's been said there. By this notion, if somebody writes an article about this stuff, right, and quotes what's in there, and then links it on Twitter, you kind of have to take that down, don't you? Because the people can see it, and that could lead to violence.
You're not allowed to do reporting.
Yeah, it's bad. It makes it so you literally can't talk about these people.
Yeah, well, they're a protected class. Pedophiles.
Bold Science says, to be honest, that game with the Bengals and KC, the refs had bullshit calls. Yeah, I agree. The Bengals were holding like a motherfucker that whole game and got away with it the entire time. But KC, we might have held here. Never mind. The refs were not as bad in that game as people want to make it out to be. Anyhow, Jack, I don't have a lot of other stories tonight. And so I thought we could cover stuff either if you got some new stuff or some of the old ones that we've missed. And we're going to start with that one that we've been a week now talking about. I want to talk about this damn story. It's not even a story. It was a meme that was going around. Where the hell is that stupid thing?
When you took, I missed this morning show, so I didn't get a chance to catch up. Did you talk about how you almost caused World War III and almost killed Fetterman?
Oh yeah, we did that this morning.
Oh, okay, good.
And look, I don't know why anybody was surprised by that article about Nord Stream.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for months.
We've said it from the beginning. I don't. For all this stuff, Russian disinformation and stuff. The idea that Russia actually blew that up is so asinine to me.
Yeah.
As to be barely worth mentioning. Because it served no purpose for them. None. Zero. Zilch. So I don't know why anybody was shocked by this. And again, even with the article, that article has no sourcing whatsoever. Nothing you can check.
Sourcing is for winners.
Well, I get why they did it because they have basically, from the sound of it, one anonymous source. Everything lines up, but you can make things seem like they actually happened without any proof. Like they point to the Navy divers down there in Panama City. They are really there. They do dangerous deep sea diving stuff. Does that mean they did this? Not really. Doesn't mean they didn't, though. I don't hate Cincinnati. I just think Cincinnati fans, you guys have had such bad teams for so long since Boomer was gone that you guys are way overselling this kid. Where are we here? I'm trying to find that stupid thing, Jack. I think it's on my cousin's profile.
Oh, it might be.
I got to go over there and look. As for Fetterman, did they give us some kind of announcement?
They might have, but I haven't seen anything.
Me neither. No. He went to the hospital because he was lightheaded, is what they told us. And as I said this morning, with his history, lightheaded for no reason, I understand taking you to the hospital. I don't understand, okay, we're going to keep you overnight for observation when we found nothing wrong with you.
Unless they think that he's about to have another stroke.
Or had one.
Yeah. I'd be willing to bet he probably did, even if it was a minor one.
Pirates asked if we know what's happening with Project Veritas.
Oh, yeah. For fuck's sake.
Some 16 employees at Project Veritas apparently sent a letter to the board of directors there saying that James O'Keefe is mean. And if the accusations are in there are true, yeah, he's kind of a douche who probably shouldn't be in charge. I mean, spitting at somebody, I'd beat your ass for that.
Yeah, that's how you get your ass kicked. But maybe that's what he needs is somebody to take a punch in his face if that's how he's behaving. The story where he took a sandwich away from a pregnant woman. Look, that bitch was probably getting fat. Let's be honest.
I don't know if any of the rumors are true or whatever, but he because of this or beside this, I don't know. Let's be honest, it's probably because this came out. He's taking 2 weeks of PTO. It's personal time off, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what they're calling it now, but the initial story was that he was put on paid leave. So they might just be calling it PTO, but I don't know, man. This sounds like there's some bitter employees.
They could have put him on leave and he's like, yeah, I'm getting paid during this. I'll use my PTO. I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of ways this could have gone down where both are true.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about the accusations. I don't know if they're true or not. If the sandwich wasn't hers and he took it away from her, I'd be on his side. That's fair. But all we have is 16 employees who are whining.
Yeah, 2 of them had gotten fired recently, and then the board rehired them. So, I don't know. I think no matter how they do this, if they get rid of him, they're pretty well done. Their funding's
yeah.
going to dry up.
He is Project Veritas. He always has been.
Yeah. Yeah, like it or not, even if he did everything they're accusing him of, which I don't know.
Me neither.
It will destroy Project Veritas.
I have no idea if he's done all this stuff or not. I don't much care because I don't work there. If he did it, he's a douchebag. If they're being overly sensitive, because some of it is he yells at us. Yeah, that's okay. Sometimes a boss can yell at you. It's okay. This isn't school anymore.
Yeah, you're not required to work there either. If you don't like the work environment, don't be there.
Look, the sandwich, the spitting, there was a couple others that I don't remember. Yeah, definitely. But the ones where it's just people whining that he was mean to them, I don't care. He dressed us down in front of other people. Don't fuck up.
Yeah, like maybe that's not the most professional thing to do, but it's also kind of the norm in business.
Yeah.
You don't want to get yelled at. I understand that, especially publicly, but it's going to happen.
I mean, if you're a good boss, you'll take them into private to have those discussions. But sometimes things happen right then, and it needs to be addressed, period.
Yeah, heat of the moment kind of thing.
Yep. Project Veritas without O'Keefe would be like the Jackson 4. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not going to work. The guy's the brains behind that operation, and he's the face of it. Most of the donors aren't going to go with anyone else. So if he starts something new, they'll send him money over there.
Giving someone a bollocking in public, that's not on. It depends. Also, you have to understand that some people's version of getting corrected, no matter how nice it is, if it was public, oh my God, you shamed me in public.
Yeah.
So it depends. Okay. I used to work with this one manager who pissed everybody off, Jack. He had the worst people skills I've ever seen in a human being. He thought he could joke with everybody like they were his best friend. He was actually a really nice guy, but everybody hated him because they always thought he was being mean to him when he was just joking around.
Yeah.
And so I hear what you're saying, but no, there are times absolutely that you can get in their ass in public, but you also have to remember that sometimes even just, hey, could you not do that? That would be enough. Oh my God, you shame me in front of people. So yeah. We don't have any of the proof or any of that, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really comes down to what we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And we just have a lot of comments about what happened from mostly anonymous sources. So I think if it comes out that the guy was a giant dick bag, it was super hard to work with, I would understand it. But there's still he's the face of the company.
If everything they said about him is true in the way that it's been presented, yeah, fuck that guy. He's a douche.
Yeah.
But you do have to understand Project Veritas falls apart without him. Now, one of the things that's mentioned in this is that funding has been down for them. You guys get rid of O'Keefe and funding's gone.
Yeah. And ultimately, this could be some kind of publicity stunt.
Could be.
He comes back victorious and the donations come flooding in.
And there's also, I mean, I hate to be that guy, but it's entirely possible that people have worked their way in there just to kind of do this stuff to him.
Oh, absolutely. Some sort of revenge thing.
Yep.
The two guys he fired kind of sound like they were going around him on some stuff too. So, like I said, we'll find out more as time goes by. But if they fire him, that Project Veritas is over.
Yep. They yelled at him. It sounds like these people need to grow a spine to me. If you can't handle it, leave. Simple as that. I mean, we always say that. It's not always as simple as that. I mean, you still have to pay your bills and stuff, but at the very least, start looking.
Yeah.
Start finding a new job. I wouldn't put up with that shit. You spit on me, man, on purpose, I will punch you in the face.
Yeah, because that's intentional. You don't just accidentally spit on somebody.
You spit on me, unless you're talking and you're really excited and a piece of spit flies out, we're still going to have an issue. I'm not going to punch you. However, you do it on purpose. Yeah, even in my crippled state, I will take the ass whipping you give me, but I'm punching you in the face if you spit on me.
Right. Have you checked Rumble lately?
I was just over there. Oh, tall person, thank you. Happy Umbrella Day. Also, did you get the article I sent on the hashtag? If you need something to talk about, have to Jack, please. Thank you so much. I don't know if I saw it or not. Maybe. But this one I want to talk about. We've been putting it off for days and days and days and days. Actually, we forgot about it for days and days and days and days. But it's important to me, so we're going to talk about it.
Oh yeah.
This is the meme, Jack. It's so sad. Wait, that's not the right. I'm really not liking this new way to share. Have you seen this, Jack? When you go to share and it brings up the list?
No, I haven't tried that yet, but I can understand how it's frustrating.
It's annoying because trying to figure out what is actually open, because that is not a picture of what's open there. And I don't see anything that is a picture of what's open there. So let me try it this way. There we go. We'll just open the window. Haha, got it.
Oh
no,
yeah,
I'm not
this thing.
ever uploading that again. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this made me sad for America's youth. This made me real sad for America's youth because a lot of people did not get 100% on this. And there's a couple of those I can see not getting 100 points. You give yourself 10 points for each of these things. Been in a relationship, kissed, had sex, smoked, got drunk, done drugs, masturbated, sent nudes, had oral sex, skipped school. I'm 100% on that, Jack.
Yeah.
100%. And as I said on Twitter, I'd done all of this by 16. And somebody, but wait, you sent nudes at 16? Polaroids. You kids today, you have those new little Polaroids, but back in the day, Polaroids were a great way to do nakeds.
Oh yeah.
Because you'd take your film roll with nakeds on it and take it to the film developing place and they wouldn't develop the naked pictures. But with a Polaroid, you had it bam like that. The number of people that I saw that had less than 50 on this really saddened me.
Yeah, this is something high school kids, middle school kids nowadays have probably completed most of.
Ebony says, guess I'm just uninteresting. It doesn't mean you're uninteresting, but most of this stuff is pretty simple. Been in a relationship, kissed, had sex. I mean, that's 30 points right there if you're an adult. Should be. Smoked, got drunk, done drugs. That's another 30 if you grew up after Puritan times. Masturbated, if you're over 13, don't lie to me. You got that 10 points. Sent nudes, okay, I can see that. I can see not doing that one. Had oral sex, again, if you're an adult, that should be there. And skipped school. This is another one that I give people a pass on because some kids, that was just not in their repertoire.
Yeah.
For me, it was a pastime. But I see this, Jack, and you and I were talking about this off screen. Today's kids, they seem so afraid of everything, of even trying anything. They're uppity little adults at like 13 now.
Yeah.
They're not out there having fun, taking chances, breaking rules. You're a kid, you should be breaking rules. Now, don't go shoot anybody, but you should be testing limits and having fun. And we just so beat the shit out of kids to the point where they're just little indoctrinated shitbags now. They just say whatever's supposed to be said. No, I can't do that. That'll get me in trouble. Get in trouble. So what? They're not going to throw you in jail for it. Within reason, of course. But it's amazing how many kids these days have no experience of anything. You ever watch the show Castle?
Yeah.
in Castle, his daughter is the grown-up of the relationship.
Ugh, I hate that kid.
Me too, because she's an uppity nobody who doesn't break any rules, and I'd hate to be around that child.
So condescending too. Actually embodied.
Yeah. But there's one scene where he says to her, he goes, I remember a time when that's a horribly inappropriate story. But that's the point. Don't you want to grow up and have horribly inappropriate stories? And I just worry that like today's kids, they're not going to have anything fun to think back on.
No, we're raising Generation Narc. These are the kids who tattle to mommy over every little thing you do.
Yeah.
And, they're going to report you to the 1-800 number for extra rations or something because you did something that Chairman Mao didn't approve of.
Still plenty of feral kids around. I mean, I suppose, but when mom counts to 3 so often and she's never going to do anything about it, you're not really breaking the rules at that point. You're going with the flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't make me count to 3, Billy. 1, 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 5/8, 2 5.58. I mean, I know a mom like that. I'm not naming names. Okay, it's my sister-in-law who would do that shit. Like, why are you counting at that child? That they know that you're not going to do anything. Stop. So, and at that point, you're not breaking the rules. It's just mom's not enforcing any rules.
Yeah.
She's saying them because that's what parents are supposed to do, not because she's actually going to hold you to any account. But even that, I mean, something as simple as, all right, if there's children listening right now, go away. Go away right now. Go. I got to talk to your parents for a minute. Step away. All right, gone? All right, cool. Skip school once. Just once. Worst case, you'll get some detention, maybe even a suspension. I love that if you skip school, they'll give you a 3-day suspension.
Yeah.
That actually happened to me once, and I laughed so hard.
Now they do them in school suspensions.
Oh, I had in-school suspension too.
Yeah,
same school. And in-school suspension was easy because they just gave us, all right, you got to do this work, and I was done with it in like 15 minutes. And I spent the rest of the day drawing mostly, actually. I was doodling the whole day.
Darth Mando makes a good point. All these points could have been obtained in kindergarten by their pedo teachers.
These days, yeah.
Real quick, thank you, Keldrick. In my defense, I was a loser in high school and life, and life has not drastically improved since then. Yeah, man, I get it, but now it's said that this is the list of like daring stuff as opposed to like being like daring stuff in 1980. Because this is not that extravagant. These days, kids have access to all kinds of crazy stuff, and they're more puritanical in many regards than we ever were.
Devil's Advocate says, never got in trouble for skipping school. As long as I could pass my test, teachers made no issue of it. I skipped school so often that, my dad started driving me to school. At my school, and in most schools, you can only miss so many days because it's how the government gives them funding by how long you go to school.
Yeah.
And if you were gone for too many days, they would start calling your parents to talk to them about it. My typing teacher is the one that first got me in trouble for that, little bitch. She hated me and I hated her back. But yeah, I don't know where you're at here if you skip too many days, and I skipped a lot of fucking days. They'll definitely call your parents. I got 100 on this by 18. Yeah. And look, that's not even that ridiculous of a list. Like Jack said there, it just saddens me that kids today are so coddled that they're afraid to even break the rule a little tiny bit. Oh, but that's breaking the rules. Like, yeah, that's the point. Let's go have some fun. Like when I was a kid, Jack, I'd be like, okay, you can go play. You better be right there if I come looking for you. Like, I'll be there, Mom. And I wasn't. I got in trouble a lot for that, Jack. Because we go off adventuring. We go find something else to do and look at and play. Like, yeah, we're going to go play at the park, Mom. And we'd be like 3 counties over.
Yeah. Mom was like, just be back by dinner.
Yeah. Who else threw apples at cars as kids? I never threw anything at cars, and I don't recommend that. You can cause an accident. I hear what you're saying. I understand. Kids do stupid shit. But
I
that's
did
when I
that
kind of...
once and regretted it.
My brother got busted throwing rocks at cars.
Ooh, yeah, that's a rough one.
We lived right next to Princess Anne Boulevard in Virginia Beach, which last time I saw it was basically an 8-lane superhighway. It was if you go down Princess Anne, you drive right into Norfolk, so it's the connecting artery between Norfolk and Virginia Beach. And Carper Housing was right on the edge of it, and our house was right on the edge of that. There was a fence and then the fucking road. And my brother was dumb enough to be standing out there throwing rocks in the middle of the day.
Wow.
Yeah. It's another reason we never let him break the rules with us, because he did stupid shit that would get you in real trouble. He got in a lot of trouble for that one.
Well, I bet.
I don't think it's that they don't go get in trouble. They're never outside to actually do anything. I mean, yeah, that could be part of it too. But I mean, they go to school.
Yeah, but this specific thing wasn't limited to high school either. It was just a sort of generic thing. And unfortunately, kids today are incredibly watched. So they're always being monitored. They're never given like the chance to make mistakes or do dumb shit. Which sometimes is good, but no.
Ever steal your parents' car or find a dead body or anything from Jackass years before the show existed? I never stole a car. That's a felony. I broke the rules within what I thought was within reason, Jack. Like, okay, if I get caught, what kind of trouble will I get into?
Yeah.
And
you have to put it in metrics,
Yeah, juvie's not something I wanted for. Finding a dead body, that's not something you can like do on purpose, I guess, unless you killed them. But as for things on Jackass, no, because that show's gay. Did I ever sit around in my underwear and throw a racquetball at my friend's nuts? No.
No, I knew people that did try to recreate Jackass stuff, but they always end up getting seriously hurt. I have found a dead body though.
I did stupid shit like minor shoplifting, skipped, like I said, ton of school. Talk back to your teachers, kids. Try that. There's an easy one for you that won't get you in too much trouble. Just talk back to your teachers.
Real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. You know what is weird with all these things is I haven't done like the relationship, the kissing, the sex, but I've got a BJ. That's weird, right? Because I feel like it's in the wrong order. No, there's no specific order to it. Also, I know a lot of women that hate kissing. A couple of my ex-girlfriends, they absolutely detested the idea of somebody putting their lips against them, but they would do all sorts of freaky shit with their mouth. So I don't know how that works out, but what are you gonna do?
I knew a chick who was like 100% against fingering. Sorry, guys, to go this way right now, but she was against the idea and the practice because your fingers are gross. You don't know where they've been. I'm like, you let me put my penis in you. You know I pee with that thing, right? And she put it in her mouth. But don't get a finger near anything because you don't know where fingers have been. Like, I can wash them if you want.
Yeah. Well, I'm not asking you to lick the screen on my phone. That's full of germs.
With my internet, I can never tell. He went muted, so I'm guessing. Hello?
What?
One of us cut out there, and I wasn't sure which one.
Oh, I don't know. I said it sounded like you were asking her to lick the screen on your phone.
Yeah.
Then I had to blow my nose.
I don't know how dirty she thought my hands were, but damn. I'm not sure what that's even about. I have no idea why any woman wouldn't want to get finger blasting. Look, some women love that shit, man. I know them too.
Because some women are prudes. That's why.
You monk Jack never cut out. Okay, that's what I figured, and it's just hard to tell because we have no way of knowing. So, I was socially awkward, uninteresting nerd. Yeah. I was more worried about passing classes than breaking the rules. Outside of picking up an extra library book or two, I was a real square then. You're gonna have your squares, but you should have your rebels too. And we just don't have rebels anymore.
Yeah.
Rebels these days are out there desperate to prove that their pronoun actually is they. Like, that's so sad.
Let the rebel yell, "You misgendered me!"
Yes. Thank you, opinionated Scotsman. I've kept count. I've had 83 blowjobs. Shame I only received one. Fair enough. I have a feeling that wasn't actually opinionated Scotsman who wrote that.
I don't know.
That or he has a wonderful sense of humor, which I have a feeling that sounded more like somebody who's made some comments like that about opinionated Scotsman in chat before. Just saying. That whole list I had done by 14. Good on you. Just don't commit felonies and have fun in life. You only get one chance as a kid, y'all.
Yeah.
You're a kid. You should not be out there worried about mortgages or anything. Go out there and have fun. And we've done that, Jack. We've destroyed children in this manner where we've just so beaten any fun out of them.
Oh yeah. They've taken all the joy out of childhood. You're not allowed to enjoy this because it offends this person. I mean, they're trying to destroy Harry Potter still. Just let kids enjoy their stuff. You know, let them go outside and play and have an imagination, not sound like they're joining the board of a corporation.
I did set a massive fire, but that was legal. Fair enough. Faithless
The
says,
fact you didn't get caught doesn't make it legal involved.
that's true. Faithless says, or worrying about the world. And yeah, I should be in school. Yeah, you should be. You should be out there finding a boyfriend for the first time and having fun with your friends and talking about TV shows or things like that that you like. You shouldn't be up there in front of the UN whining, just repeating what the fuck your parents told you to say about the world coming down around you.
Yeah. I have a feeling that poor kid is very socially isolated and probably has never been kissed.
Oh, I have no doubt.
And I feel bad for her. She is a puppet of her parents who are activists, very, very widely known activists.
Yep. Bold Sign says rebels are lip syncing to songs on dumb TikTok videos. Yeah, I guess that would be today's rebels. Today's rebels, they quietly to their friends say the word Negro. They don't even say the bad one, like Negro. Like, shut up. Look what you've done to children. You've ruined them. Jack, I enjoyed my childhood. I had a lot of fun. And it saddens me that today that kids are little adults. And not in the way, you're supposed to be raising them to become adults and all that. But part of it is pushing boundaries and seeing where you can go and what you can do. And now, yeah, they're so sheltered and oh God. I just I hate it. I feel bad for them. You parents need to stop being such assholes. Stop putting so much on your kids. Let them be kids.
Well, it's also keeping the kids from being worldly. They're
Yeah.
not understanding how things work. That's why they eat like the fucking Tide Pods and stuff, because they're stupid.
Oh no, what is this, Jack? Why you got me watching Nick Fuentes?
It's funny.
Speaking of kids who need to go out and learn to have fun, Jesus.
He has his little cummy hunting adventures.
Yeah. Hey, share audio is automatically clicked now. I like that. That's a good change. At least I'm not gonna have to worry too much about my audio not coming through. Thank you for that change, StreamYards. That's a long time coming. Anyway, all right.
The GOP is just turning into a gayer, blacker country music concert.
Look, just because you're GOP doesn't mean they're gayer, homie. But what's wrong with blacker?
Well,
wait. It's Nick Fuentes. Don't worry,
Yeah.
guys. He's not racist. He's not racist. He just doesn't like it being blacker.
Reaper, his closet is welded tighter than a Chinaman's apartment during COVID.
Wow. You're not wrong, though. He's bursting to get out, too. Nick, go suck a dick. You'll feel better, man. Seriously. And you know what? Make it a black one. You'll feel a lot better. Cast One, thank you. The rebels today are stepping on anyone who disagrees with them and told they are fighting against systems of power by forming a massive identityless blob in defense of a system of power. Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
Yeah, the breeding good little commies in schools these days.
Yeah, they really are. Bunch of little tattletale and shitbags.
Yeah.
All right. He's worried about gayness again. Nick, seriously, stop projecting that on everybody else.
It's getting weird.
I now understand when he used to have his people go to the Turning Point USA things to ask Charlie Kirk, what does being homosexual have to do with being conservative? He was looking for an answer for himself. Like, hey, how can I be conservative and gay? Please, please help me. I used to think it was weird how much he was obsessed with butt sex, but it makes a lot more sense now.
It kind of does, yeah.
If you're a fan of Nick Fuentes, he is totally gay. Just be okay with it, all right? It's true.
We accept him for who he is. We just wish he would.
Yeah, exactly. It's 2023, man. Suck a dick. You'll feel fine.
Back to the country music concert. Back to the farm. Trump brought the GOP to New York into the future. Trump said, I live at the top of a gold and black palace in New York, and I'm rich and hot and cool, and I'm a celebrity and I'm famous, and my apartment's made out of gold, and we're gonna bring America to Mars. And
should I be shocked that he's really impressed with all the gold? There's gold plating all around me. I don't know if you know this, Nick. That's kind of gay.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like kind of aroused by it or if he's trying to shame Trump for being wealthy, but it's a weird thing to be talking about. He just sort of freeforms this one.
He's very, very impressed with the gold decorations.
Well,
hey,
women
Nick,
love jewelry.
Nick, I have a name for you. You might not know. Liberace. Check him out. You'll love it.
Yeah, true.
You'll absolutely love him. Especially his dwelling
by Greenland. And they're like, they want to bring us back to the farm in Texas. They want to bring us back to the ranch.
What?
Get you back on the plantation is what he's trying to say.
He does understand that Trump won. You can point and go New York. He didn't win New York. He didn't win California. He won the middle of the country. He won Michigan and Wisconsin and Arizona. You get that was the base all along, right, Nicky boy?
No, I don't think he understands that. He's kind of dumb.
All right.
I'm voting for Biden. I'm riding with Biden now. I'm with Paul Town on this one. I love when did you see the Paul Town stream when it was like, your trailer fucking your trash. That was a great stream.
You're Hillary, homie. He's gay Hillary. Oh my God. All right. Nick, just call it flyover country and be done with it.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
That's a big reason why I love Paul Town, because he's got the same, like, he's from New York. He thinks New York is better than anywhere, so we disagree on that. But I respect it, because it's like, you know what? New York is the biggest city. It is the American metropolis. It is the American megalopolis, okay? So I respect it. He likes Jay-Z better than Ye, whatever.
I love when these little cozy racist guys who's like black. He started this by saying it's blacker. And now he's pulling out Jay-Z and Ye.
Yeah. You'll notice that he referenced Paul Town there. That's the crazy dude that we looked at the clip of the other day.
Oh, the one's going to kill Jaden?
Yeah, that was Paul.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But I love that about him, that he has an arrogance because he's from a big city and he knows people that kill people and stuff.
He doesn't know anybody that kills people. He's saying stupid shit that idiots like you would be impressed with. God, we saw this guy. I would have guessed he lived in a trailer. That the guy he's talking about, the one who threatened Jalen or Jaden, he did not look like he was metropolitan at all.
I'd be impressed if that dude didn't live in a van down by the river.
That dude looked like he lived in a trailer around here. Did he even have all of his teeth?
I don't know, but that dude was super sketchy.
Like that.
It's probably somebody that Nick would get in the van with. That's what it is.
Sounds like Spencer. Yeah, exactly. Somebody said, holy shit, Dickie Spencer was right all along. You know, in some ways he might have been, actually. He might.
You stole your shtick from him, man.
Yeah. And now he's agreeing with Richard Spencer, who also voted for Biden, by the way.
Yeah. All right. All right. And so Nick only likes black in the city in gold rooms, apparently.
That dude's weird, man.
He's full of shit, is what he is. And
that's because he's not smart.
I can't believe people still fall for his nonsense. I guess I shouldn't be shocked by it because a lot of people, as long as you hear them say a little bit of what you like, it's enough.
Yeah.
But that guy's been a retard for a long, long time. And I've called him a retard for a long, long time, but only because he's a fucking retard.
Yes.
Is he stuck in the 70s? No, he's stuck in the closet.
Might be a 70s themed closet, but yeah, he's trying to be an edgy boy, and this is his shtick, is to be kind of a contrarian. I don't know. It's tiresome. He's not very smart. He runs that cozy TV where Ethan Ralph is based out of. Speaking of Ralph, by the way, did you see that clip? I think I retweeted it from one of his last streams there where he was really shit-faced.
Which one? Because he had a couple of them right there in a row right after he got married.
That's true. He's back from Rome. He's back in Mexico. So he was doing this really drunk stream where he was having trouble stopping the stream so that he could go drive to Cancun.
Nice.
I was like, wow.
Two things. I've been having trouble with the archive website today.
Oh,
I cannot open it. I tried to archive something earlier and it wouldn't open. I thought, oh, maybe it's just down. But I just tried to open the first archive story and it wouldn't let me. So I might need you to pull those up tonight.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
And I need to step away for just a second. I'll be right back.
All right. We're going to have a second of dead air because I need to blow my nose. So hang on a second, guys. Sorry, we're having a weather change where it's going to drop 20 degrees and it's messing with my sinuses really, really badly. So let's jump over here. He's stuck with Monk's hair. He searches for Monk's hair. He dreams of it. So let's look over at Toronto area. Now, a high school student suspended and then arrested for saying there were only two genders. Now, this is not an old article. This is from February 8th. In the name of diversity, a Catholic school in Renfrew, that's a town, I assume, and not a person, suspended a student and had him arrested for saying there are only two genders. Josh Alexander was suspended last November over comments made about gender in class and told he couldn't return to class until he recanted. Oh, what a beautiful struggle session that must have been. Until you denounce your heretical ways, you may not return to society. On Monday, Alexander returned to class and was promptly met by the vice principal, arrested by 2 local police officers and charged with trespassing. The now seemingly former student at St. Joseph's Catholic High School told the National Post in an interview that he made comments during a class discussion on gender. It was
What's
about
going on?
male.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't pull this up. What's going on?
A high school student was suspended and then arrested for saying there were only 2 genders.
Oh, dear Christ. Okay.
So he was suspended in November for this discussion, which we're about to get into. And then on Monday, he attempted to return to class and was met by the vice principal and arrested by 2 local cops.
And where was this at?
It was outside Toronto in Renfrew.
Jesus.
It was about male students using female washrooms, gender dysphoria, and male breastfeeding. Everyone was sharing their opinions on it. Any student who wanted to use was participating, including the teacher, Alexander said. I said there were only 2 genders and you were born either a male or a female, and that got me in trouble. And then I said that gender doesn't trump biology. Now, they told him that he could return to class if he recanted, so I don't think he did. Those statements, in line with Catholic teaching, were what got him suspended from school. A lawyer representing Alexander said the school won't let him attend classes again until he agrees, quote, not to use the dead name of any transgender student, and agreed to exclude himself from 2 afternoon classes because those classes are attended by 2 transgender students who disapprove of Josh's religious beliefs, end quote.
Christ.
Oh, real quick. Thank you, Alan. Who says, hello, Jack. Hi, Alan. Thanks, man. Alexander told National Post that he had never dead named another student, meaning that using their original name. As for trans students disapproving of his religious beliefs, maybe they want to reflect on the fact that they are attending a Catholic school, or at least one that calls itself Catholic. This incident shows why it might be time to finally say goodbye to Ontario's publicly funded Catholic school system. There's nothing Catholic about it. They adhere to the same secular gospel as all other public institutions.
They're a Catholic school, and he's not allowed to say there's only 2 genders?
Yes. And he's not allowed to even be in the room with trans students now because he's a heretic. There's no trans privilege. No.
This kind of goes back to what I was saying about, kids today. This is them being kids. You can't call me by the name I was born with. Yeah, way to take a stand, assholes. It's sad to me that this kid is a rebel for literally what we said. Just using the wrong pronouns.
Yeah, see, there are some rebels out there. It's just a different way. Now it's like having traditional values, wanting to get married and have a family, and not diddling kids.
Thank you, Cashman. Says it's a bit of an old saying, but this reeks of the asylum being run by the insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I realize I paraphrased that, dude. Sorry, it's not opening for me here. And nothing's opening, Jack. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry. I've had these things happen to me many times.
I've never had it where I couldn't open this all day long, though. And none of the links are opening.
Kind of weird, but dude, it happens. Don't worry about it. You probably just need to close your browser and reopen it. And obviously, that's a bit of an issue right now.
Oh, you know what? I haven't closed this browser since I tried to do that. So that might be it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually what it is for me.
Okay.
Okay. So Alexander is known to be a little bit of a political activist. He's got a social media presence, and he wears a hat that says Save Canada, and it's red. So nice. Red frightens commies, apparently, ironically. So he's pro-life, and he wears this hat. He's even been photographed at protests against the Trudeau government at Parliament Hill. All of that will see critics say that Alexander doesn't deserve any sympathy and that he got what was coming to him. This is where we are in political discourse in Canada. This is an opinion piece, by the way.
I hear what they're saying there but that should not matter. Either free speech does or it doesn't.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry, Jack.
No, you're fine.
Go ahead.
No, that's basically the summation of the article. Is this kid's in hot water. He's been arrested now. He's a criminal. by the society standards, because he said he stated a biological fact.
Oh,
So yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, because I thought it was interesting that this kid would be targeted like this, and it's obvious that he's being targeted because of his religious and political beliefs. Monkey, you still with us?
We saw members of our own Congress recently but that's not what they want it to anymore, because what is it I always say? Oh yeah, control the speech and you control everything.
Yep. Yeah, like Lion Patriot said, this kid's a dirty, dirty wrong thinker.
Yep. Oh, that's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. Next up, I had an article from Breitbart where Lloyd Austin.
Why do I know that name?
He's the defense secretary.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Spy balloon forced us to limit movement communications across the country so we didn't expose nuclear capabilities. Our country was paralyzed by a fucking weather balloon. I know I'm still talking about this. I'm sorry, but this is important to us, whether you want to admit it or not. All right. During a portion of an interview with CBS News national security correspondent David Martin released on Wednesday, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin stated that in response to the Chinese spy balloon that flew over the country, the United States ensured that its nuclear bases were buttoned down and that movement was limited and communications were limited, so we didn't expose any capability unnecessarily. Austin also stated that the buttoning down applied to nuclear bases all across the United States. He said, Martin asked, you don't know what it was looking for, but you certainly know you were concerned about it looking. What were you concerned about it looking for? Austin said, well, I certainly, all of our strategic assets, we made sure we were buttoned down and that movement was limited and communications were limited, so we didn't expose any capability. Martin said, by strategic assets, you mean the nuclear force? Austin said that by strategic assets, he meant the nuclear force. Did this also include like the bombers? Because that thing flew right over a stealth bomber base.
They probably, yeah, basically they'd hide them or make sure we're not moving them at all in any manner, not letting them take off or anything. Yeah, they locked them down so they couldn't see.
It amazes me how much are we freaked out about a weather balloon that we should have shot down over the Altrusian Islands.
Real quick, in chat, somebody said I was cutting in and out. For some reason, my fucking internet switched back to Starlink. I fixed that at the beginning of the show and it switched back. I have no idea. It's corrected now. I apologize for that. As for the balloon, man, there's no reason it shouldn't have been shot down. And with wind trajectory and stuff, they saw what kind of track this was taking.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been shot down as soon as it entered our airspace, period.
Yeah, absolutely. But they didn't do that because they're pussies.
Frost said our government's response to a balloon, government/military hide. Yeah. And look, it does make sense if you know that somebody's spying on you to hide stuff, limit your movements. It makes sense. The issue here is that it was a fucking balloon that they were hiding from that they could have taken down at any moment.
Yeah. Yeah. But instead, they went to all the trouble to hide everything instead of just shooting the damn thing down at the very beginning. It would have made more sense and it caused less havoc on our system to just take it out as soon as it was in our airspace.
And even if we didn't do it when it came into Alaska, when it's coming down and it hits the continuous states, as soon as it hits them, take it down. And don't tell me, oh, we were worried about human life. Bullshit. You're talking about swaths of empty fucking land up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bullshit excuse from the beginning. And this shows how incapable our leadership is of making command decisions in a timely manner. It's very dangerous to be this incompetent. Real quickly, thank you, Keldrick. If we had to shoot the balloon down before it crossed the entire country, we wouldn't have exposed anything unnecessarily. Yep.
Yeah, their whole thing is we Biden says this during the State of the Union. I took action against it. I'm standing up to China without actually mentioning the balloon. Not until it got anything it needed. It was done with its mission by the time we shot the thing down.
Yeah. Did you see? I retweeted this. February 8th. Bill Malusian from Fox LA reported 5 more Chinese nationals were caught crossing into Mission, Texas by Border Patrol. And they're seeing an uptick of Chinese nationals coming across the border illegally.
Look, if I'm anybody that has, whether it's good or bad designs on the United States, man, I just come through the Mexican border.
Yeah, they've already caught like 39 people on the terror watch list.
I've told friends in our audience that like, I want to come to the U.S. Yeah, come to Mexico. Come up.
Just say no hablo inglés. They'll give you tons of free shit, apparently.
Learn to say asylum. I don't know how you say it in Spanish. You'll be fine.
You don't even need to say it in Spanish. So, okay, whatever.
Thank you, Chaos One. Didn't you hear them come out and say it happened 4 times to Trump without proof? And by the way, have any of you, whoops, damn it, it came off. Real quick, last I heard, I'll get to the rest of this, but last I heard it was 3 times during Trump. I hadn't heard the 4th. No proof of any of it.
No, they're just making shit up.
And by the way, have any of you or have any of the Bidens been in China recently? I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Wouldn't surprise me.
But don't worry, he's standing up to China. He's just, he's sanctions, and there's a specific part of the bill that he was so proud of, the CHIPS bill that's bringing American manufacturing back to America because we invented those chips, damn it. That specifically goes to making those chips in China.
Yeah. Eases all the restrictions.
Yeah, don't pay any attention to that stuff. He's standing up to him. And you missed this, Jack. I was talking about it this morning. They had the committee meeting yesterday where they talked to the people who used to work at Twitter. I don't know if you got to see any of it. It was fucking great. But Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez trying to tell us that the New York Post story is not real. And Jamie Raskin telling us, we shouldn't be. Look, there's nothing to see here. It's a 2-year-old story that they've apologized for. It's nothing to see here. And another one of them going, some mentions of the Biden connections to China. There's nothing that says that there's any actual. It's all right there. We see it. We saw it.
Yeah. I like during the testimony with the Twitter people, she called it a half fake story.
Yes.
That implies it's half true, you stupid bitch.
The problem is, if you watch, she did at least 2 different rounds of questioning because somebody gave her extra time. And I think it's the second one where she calls it half truth. Because in the first one, she's all in on allegedly and basically giving the idea that it's not real. Yeah, it was fucking funny as shit. They're going to pretend that it's not real instead of just, yeah, this is a real thing. That was a bad idea for them to. If I was the Democrats yesterday, I would have just stuck to the point. They apologized for it, and it had no real impact. That's all I would have said.
Yeah.
Instead, they tried to make it sound like, yeah, there was nothing to see here. Bullshit. And as was brought up at the very beginning, polls have shown that if that had come out, chances are Trump wins.
Yep.
So don't tell me that there was nothing to it. And they keep going, it was just one day that it was down. One day. Yeah, but the New York Post didn't get their thing back for another 12. And you have all of these other media outlets out there calling it bullshit.
Yeah.
I really do wish they would do one of these with like the editorial boards of, say, the New York Times and the Washington Post. Be like, hey, why did you guys post this when they brought this to you? You had already seen this and you acted like it was all fake. Yeah, it's your paper. You can lie how you want to, but I'd like an answer to that.
Oh, you're not getting one.
Anyhow, Jack, what else you got?
China's bid to improve food production. What would be your guess?
Plant more?
No, a giant tower of pigs.
That's another way to go. Sure, why not?
Yeah, and I mean a gigantic building. This from the New York Times. First sows arrived in late September at the hulking 26-story high-rise, towering across the rural village in central China. The female pigs were whisked away dozens at a time in industrial elevators to the highest floors where the hogs would reside from insemination to maturity. This is pig farming in China, where agricultural land is scarce, food production is lagging, and pork supply is a strategic imperative. Yeah, they have a pig hotel, basically. Inside the edifice, which resembles the monolithic housing blocks seen across China and stands as tall as the London Tower that houses Big Ben, the pigs are monitored on high-definition cameras by uniformed technicians at a NASA-like command center. Each floor operates like a self-contained farm from the different stages of a young pig's life. An area for pregnant pigs, a room for farrowing piglets, spots for nursing, and space for fattening the hogs.
That's got to smell like ass, man.
Oh, I bet the whole town smells like this place. Feed is carried on a conveyor belt to the top floor where it's collected in giant tanks, then delivered to more than 1 million pounds of food per day to the floors below through high-tech feeding troughs that automatically dispense the meals to the hogs based on their stage of life, weight, and health. This is kind of a metaphor for all of communism, controlled from birth to death.
Ogie says it's a months old story. Yeah, we're going over stuff that we haven't had time to catch up on. I mean, it's a way to go. Like you said, it probably stinks up the whole goddamn town. But if you are worried about not having the space to raise them, if you laid that building out each floor side by side, that's going to take up a shit ton of space, probably the whole town.
It looks like it takes up about a city block.
So yeah, how many floors?
26.
26 city blocks. That's a big ass fucking farm that they don't have the room for. Now, look, I do know we have farms as big as that or bigger, but in that area, they just don't have the area for it.
Yeah, they don't have that kind of farmland. Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. A tower of pigs ready for insemination. That's already a thing. It's called a sorority.
True.
Yeah, I can't really dispute that. Yeah, this article is actually from the 8th. So, this is not a new story. I just found a newer version of it.
Right.
I have apparently that kind of time. It kind of goes into China's love of bacon and pork. Pork is huge in Asia. They love their pork.
Yeah. DK says this is a test run for our new cities. I'm not opposed to something like this, honestly. Let's say you have a pig farm and you can increase production by 26% or 26 times. Fuck yeah, do that. I like bacon and pork chops.
Yeah, gross. I think this is sort of just their central planning taking to the food element instead of just the people element, because this is kind of how they run things with their people. Everybody's in these hideous buildings.
Well, I mean, they. Uh-oh, did we cut out?
I'm still here.
Okay, here? No. All right, I was just making sure I wasn't talking when all went funky. With their spacing problems, this is the kind of stuff I could see coming to the UK. They're running out of space real fast over in England. Here in America, it's not something we have to worry about for quite a long time because despite what the whiny little bitch ass Greens will tell you, we have plenty of farmland right now.
Yeah.
But China, for as big as the country is, a lot of that land isn't usable. It's why they're doing things like flattening parts of mountains right now.
Yeah, they do not have a lot of farmable land. They have a lot of desert.
So I understand it. It's an interesting, innovative way to do it, I guess. But a 26 floor stink farm, that's a lot of pig shit, man. Is that what they're using to build the new islands? Is all the pig shit?
Probably.
Huh. How much pig shit is that? That's got to be a ton, man.
Oh, it's got to be a lot.
Uh,
I don't think the article says, but yeah, they talk about like because this giant complex is surrounded by some industrial stuff that has to move everything. But it's pretty crazy how much goes into this and how high tech this ends up being.
a tower full of pork. Don't let any Muslim pilots know. You know, I'm shocked that the Uyghur camps aren't right outside of this thing.
Yeah, I kind of am too.
They can feed dissidents to the pigs. True. Like
Yeah,
you're going to be on floor 25 today. What am I doing? Don't worry about it.
you're gonna feed the pigs.
Oh, anyhow, what else we got?
All right, next up, this comes from the Washington Times. Mom says Maine school counselor encouraged daughter 13 to change gender without parental consent.
Oh, I saw this article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. China has a habit of dumping all the diseased dead pigs in their rivers and feeding them so many antibiotics that any disease that affects the pigs are super bugs that can't be stopped. They're the main reason so many antibiotics don't work anymore. Yeah, I've heard that. It wouldn't surprise me at all. They'll just pump them full because they're very short term on stuff like that.
Real quick, I have one coming through. Load up. Actually, in the U.S., the big concern is soil erosion. We are losing more than is gained. And while you think of dirt being everywhere, when you start having to replace millions of acres, it isn't as common as you think. Um, okay. Thank you for the donation.
Well, that's how we ended up with the Dust Bowl in the 30s. It extended the Depression. Okay. Let's see, where was I? A mother in Maine has demanded that public school officials fire a social worker. Oh, to mean the de-escalation people
Yes.
who coached her 13-year-old daughter to become a boy without parental consent. Amber Levine, Amber, not Avril. Okay, big difference. Told the Washington Times that Samuel Roy, a counselor at Great Salt Bay Community School, secretly advised her daughter on gender transition and gave her 2 binders to flatten her chest during an October counseling session. Miss Levine said she found one of the binders in her daughter's room in early December, prompting her to withdraw the girl from school after officials defended Mr. Roy.
Why does a counselor have binders on hand?
Because social workers and guidance counselors both think that they're gods.
Fair.
And we've seen how many of these teachers refer to the kids as my kids. I mean, they feel entitled to do this perversities.
Yeah.
I feel like my rights were violated and my daughter's education was put on the back burner, Miss Levine said. I feel like they overstepped and drove a wedge between my child and her family. Well, yeah, that's their goal. School officials also started calling the girl a different name and referring to her with male pronouns on campus without notifying her mom, according to a letter to school board chair Samuel Belknap. These actions, quote, violated Miss Levine's fundamental constitutional right to control and direct the education, upbringing, and healthcare decisions of her daughter as protected by the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, end quote, states the letter, which was released Monday by attorneys from the Goldwater Institute, a conservative free market public policy research and litigation group representing Miss Levine. Officials at Great Salt Bay Community School, located in Damarosita, Maine, declined to comment. Attempts to reach Mr. Roy were unsuccessful. School officials defended the school's actions in public statements on December 19th and January 14th, noting a legal duty to provide an inclusive and welcoming environment. Mr. Belknap said in the first statement that the school's policies and procedures comply with Maine law, which protects the rights of all students and staff, regardless of gender identity, to have equal access to education the supports and services available in our public schools, and the students' right to privacy regardless of age. The second statement, which Mr. Belknap co-signed with 6 other board members, said social media accounts about the controversy had directly given rise to several bomb threats last month. Distraction. Move the goalpost. Move the goalpost. As you may or may not be aware, certain party members are spreading a grossly inaccurate and one-sided story to which the board cannot specifically respond, given our obligation to maintain the confidentiality of student and employee information as required by Maine law, the board members wrote. Sounds like they would be willing to go to bat for protecting a sexual relationship between student and staff.
Yep.
However, the law does not command the blanket exclusion of parents from these conversations, Ms. Levine's lawyers assert in their letter. The clash in the latest is a nationwide struggle between parents and public school officials over whether administrators have the legal right to help students change genders on campus without the knowledge of unsupportive parents. Dozens of public schools have implemented policies that allow staff and teachers to coach children on their sexuality without notifying parents. It goes into some other examples, most of which we've already talked about. In her interview with the Times, Miss Levin said she first discussed concerns about her daughter's gender dysphoria with a 7th grade counselor in September 2021. Great Salt Bay reassigned the girl to Mr. Roy at the start of 8th grade this fall, but Miss Levine said she did not know about their conversations until after finding the chest binder in December. The mother of 3 said she withdrew her daughter from the school in December after officials met with her several times, but ultimately refused to fire Mr. Roy. The social worker over-identified with my daughter and overshared his personal experiences with her, Ms. Levine said. My hope is that this case will propel change statewide and across the country because I'd really like to enroll my daughter in high school this fall.
It doesn't matter where you go, this shit's going to keep happening.
Yeah, there's no safe place from this nonsense.
No, it's the norm now. And look at the kid in Canada arrested for wanting to go to school, and how dare he not they.
Yeah, he didn't recant, Monkey. He did not apologize and confess his heretical ways.
Libs at TikTok, who, by the way, got brought up in that hearing yesterday. Oh, God, it was so weird. They made...
Right?
What's that?
I know, right?
They made their living off of exposing all of these teachers that we've watched so many times who are all on board with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like even private schools. We read a story, God, it's got to be at least a year now, Jack, where it's like even private schools aren't safe from this shit because you think you're sending them there for the best education, and instead it is the same woke bullshit with them preaching transgender ideology to your kids.
Yeah.
So I wish this woman luck with her kid, because what happened here is a disgrace. But sweetheart, honestly, I know it's hard, but if you're actually that concerned about it, you got to go the homeschool route. You really do.
Yeah. She's got 3 kids. I think they're all girls. I hope she wins this lawsuit, because some teacher or social worker at the school does not have a right to start talking about their weird sexual fetishes and then trying to convert your daughter.
Yep.
That's disgusting. And if they don't put a stop to it now, it's going to get a lot worse. Parental rights will be eroded. So I hope they win this.
The problem is, Jack, this should have been stopped years ago. Right now, it's so entrenched.
Yeah.
I don't know how you fix this, because even state laws, they're like, you got to be the whole pro-trans, yay. I don't know right now, without some major backlash in the U.S., which I'm just not seeing yet, how this changes. Because
I don't either.
Even the backlash that we have seen, like with the crap against Boston Children's Hospital, which again was brought up yesterday during that hearing, you'll see people, we shouldn't be mutilating the kids, but we should still be teaching this stuff. We should still be, what's the word they like to use? Accepting of this stuff. You mean indoctrinating the kids. So what little pushback there is, it's not against the overall idea of this nonsense. And that's the problem. No, They should have the teachers that they can go to safely because their parent thinks they're actually a boy because they saw him in a diaper. They remember what was there when they changed their child. They were there when they noticed the sex when it came out of the womb. Oh yeah, that'll make him a bad parent because they call little Sally there Sally. They won't call her Billy. Fuck off. Why does a counselor have binders on hand? That is fucking weird. And for those who are going, binders, isn't that where you put paper? No. We're not talking about like a notebook. We're talking about something wrapped around the chest of women to flatten their chest as much as possible.
Yeah,
So,
they're called chest binders.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, dude. What
No
else
worries.
we got?
Over the Bozeman Daily Chronicle, a slightly related article, just to show you how big the infection is spread. Montana bill would let students misgender classmates.
Good.
Ugh, it's monstrous. Monstrous, monkey.
Look, dude, when I used to misgender classmates, some boy in my class was acting like a bitch, I'd call him a girl.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were acting like a bitch.
Yeah.
So.
Why are you acting like a little girl?
Montana schools would not be able to punish students who purposely misgender or dead name their transgender peers under a Republican-backed legislative proposal that opponents argue will increase bullying of children who are already struggling for acceptance.
The Supreme Court's been very clear on the free speech rights of students.
Yeah, and dead naming's not a real thing. That's just their name.
Nope.
The proposal, co-sponsored by more than 24 GOP lawmakers, would declare it's not discrimination to use a transgender classmate's legal name or refer to them by their birth gender. Ba-ba-bum!
So, common sense. All right,
Yes.
I got you.
Yes. And using logic, biology, facts, that sort of thing. Oh, hateful, bigoted stuff. Schools would be prevented from adopting policies to punish students who do so. It comes amid a wave of legislation this year in Montana and other conservative states seeking to limit or ban gender-affirming medical care for transgender youth. Montana's Senate passed a ban on gender-affirming medical care or surgery for minors on Wednesday. Oh, Montana's kicking ass. But the proposal on misgendering and dead naming is apparently the only existing legislation of its kind in the country this year, said Olivia Hunt, policy director for the National Center for Transgender Equity. Yeah, they don't have a dog in this race. Well, hopefully others follow suit, is what I have to say to that.
Yeah.
This would make Montana unique in enshrining the right to be bigoted toward or the right to bully trans children in the state code, Hunt said.
You know what I really want, Jack?
Less hyperbole in life?
No, that's fun to me. I want one of these cases where a kid gets in trouble. I'd like to see a case in a public school like we saw in the one from Canada that you read about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And to see them sue the ever-loving fuck out of the school thing and it all go all the way up to the Supreme Court where it needs to go.
Yeah, and the kid wins.
Yeah, because
this is disgusting.
By Supreme Court precedent, he has to.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of things that have already been decided that this sort of activity of so-called misgendering and dead naming is perfectly within the bounds of free speech.
Yep.
And the Supreme Court really does need to come down on this because it's getting really, really, really authoritarian, way beyond anything I thought it would get to this quickly.
And look, that doesn't mean little shit should be going out there fucking with kids. I'm not like saying, hey, go bully him, but it shouldn't be a matter of legal interest at all. It's asinine. You
shouldn't be forced to tailor your speech to some egomaniac who wants to go by fairy pronouns. That's insane. Compelled speech is very dangerous.
Thank you, Keldrig. If dead naming offends you, you need to be bullied. At the very least, in what they call bullying these days.
Yeah, the pussy little bullying they've got now. Yeah,
you called me a name. Yeah, welcome to school, kid.
You said my legal name. How dare you?
Can you believe that is an insult now? Your legal name, your birth name, that's an insult.
Yeah. I don't understand what kind of pussy world we live in. America
Yeah.
used to be beautiful. What happened?
I'm trying to imagine as a child going to my teacher and going, he called me Francis. Like, that's your name. Okay.
That's my
You know,
dead name. I'm Bethany now.
I'm Frank.
Grow up.
I'm Frank, not Francis. How dare you? You got to go to jail now. You dead
Yeah.
named me.
Or get suspended, or so enraging. The proposal would not apply to teachers, but some states are considering bills that would protect teachers' right to refer to students by their birth names and genders.
Good.
The main sponsor, Representative Brandon Lure, said Wednesday during a hearing that his children who live on a farm and ranch have learned from a very young age that cows are cows and bulls are bulls, and it's not open for interpretation. Well, I like this man already. Children should not be forced to call somebody something they're not, Lure said.
Yeah.
Opponents agreed that students who accidentally use a wrong pronoun or name should not be punished, but said schools should still be able to respond to purposely misgendering and dead naming, perhaps under an anti-bullying policy. Refusing to acknowledge a transgender student's preferred name and pronouns amounts to bullying, said S.K. Rossi, testifying on behalf of the Human Rights Campaign.
I desperately want to go back to school, Jack. Real quick, Comrade Kitty, thank you. No lockers big enough for the they, them. That's true. They're all fat little bastards.
Right.
I want to be back in school at this time, Jack. And
oh my God,
just to
fantastic.
fuck with my teachers, I would come up with the most ridiculous names and insist they call me it.
Yeah. And be like, you're misgendering me. I'm going to get you fired.
I'm sorry. I no longer answer to Frank. My name is You're a Cunt. And if you don't call me that, you are misgendering me.
Yeah.
You're dead naming me.
U-R-A, Yura, K-U-N-T. You're a cunt. And it's all one word. So there's a hyphen in there. You have to respect
That's
the
right.
hyphen. The problem with the bill is that it takes away the ability of schools and teachers and administrators to intervene when someone becomes cruel before it becomes physical, Rossi said. Trans kids don't get beat up that much. I'm sorry. The issue of punishment for misgendering or dead naming doesn't appear to be a problem in Montana, according to Emily Dean, Director of Advocacy for the Montana School Boards Association. She said she was unaware of any students who had been punished for such actions. That doesn't mean it's not happening. It just means you're not telling us. Remember that
you don't have to wait till it happens there. We can see it happening elsewhere. Like, oh, it hasn't happened in Montana yet. Oh, so you wait until it does?
Yeah, well, schools also lie about like rape. So
true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she's lying. I think kids have been punished for it, and they're just not telling us. Because there's probably someone, you were bullying. We're not going to mention on the paperwork that it was dead naming, because that's fucking stupid. But you were a bully. Max Finn, a transgender middle schooler from Missoula, said he faces backlash from fellow students, including having crude remarks made about him and being tripped in the hallway, even though his teachers try and stop it from happening. Call him bullshit. If my teachers can't or won't intervene, it gets much worse, Finn said. Maybe don't be such a tattletale bitch, and then people will leave you alone. You go narc, every time somebody says something kind of mean to you that you think is mean, yeah, people are going to think you're a little bitch, and they're going to pick on you more.
How old is this kid?
Middle school. It doesn't say beyond that.
So probably, 11 to 13-ish?
Yeah.
Stop being a little bitch.
Yeah, quit being a baby. Quit being a girl. Because transgender boy. Sorry. People representing educational organizations, pediatricians, parents of transgender children, and students testified against the bill, saying it would lead to unchallenged bullying and harassment, as well as anxiety and depression among trans students. Layla Riggs told lawmakers about defending friends who were being bullied because they were transgender or gender nonconforming. Someone once threw rocks at her and a non-binary friend after school. Maybe because you're a little tattletale narc who likes to wag your finger at everybody and be like, how dare you? They're gender non-conforming.
I'm sorry. They just never mind. Keep going.
School's supposed to be a place where you are accepted and a place where your
No.
safety is... I know, right? And a place where your safety is supposed to be one of the top priorities, Riggs testified.
Wait, time out. The rock throwing incident was after school?
Yes.
As they were walking home from school?
It doesn't say. I assume so.
All right. So they were safe in the building except for from the words.
Yes, but words cut like daggers, Monkey.
True.
They're the paper cuts on the soul, remember?
They're worse than sticks and stones now. Yeah,
They are, because there's 1,000 of them and they add up, just like microaggressions. She goes on, with the passage of this bill, even the illusion of safety for transgender and non-binary students would be gone. Yeah, I like how we hear all these buzzwords, safety, what was the other one she used? Gender non-conforming. We're making a home here. No, you're in fucking school. Grow up.
It's not supposed to be a home. It is a learning environment. And this is the problem with education right now, is that they're not even making an effort to be teaching anymore. You know, Biden was talking during his, I keep going back to State of the Union, sorry. It's no longer enough to have education K through 12. Maybe if we were actually teaching, it would be.
Yeah.
Maybe. Cast one, thank you. And we're certain identity is why, nothing else. No, look, this kind of kid.
They're what we used to call a moral nag.
Yeah, well, we used to call him gay.
Yeah, well, we can't do that anymore.
They're the kind of kid that is awkward and runs and tells the teacher over every little thing, and they're the kind that they're basically asking for you to fuck with them.
Yeah, here's the scenario. There's 3 kids. 2 of them are throwing rocks in the river. The other one with the pink hair is like, you shouldn't be doing that. I don't like that. I don't like that. This makes me uncomfortable. And they're like, whatever, leave us alone. Throwing rocks in the river some more. So the kid runs and tattles and then runs back and goes, that's them right there. And then the kids are going to mock them for being a little narc.
Then the next time you're at the river throwing rocks and they show up, you throw the rock at them.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're being a little bitch and you don't want them around because they're annoying little bullies. The people that pretend they're standing up for trans rights are more often than not, first of all, not trans, but they're also like the ones that are bullying everybody around them because they have to do what they want. You have to accept the people I want you to.
Maddie says, I'm imagining Bubble Boy like uniforms for school in the future. You're probably not far off, man. There's soundproof ones where it's got a special thing that they'll never hear anything bad.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. We're raising a bunch of pussies. Jack, we got to wrap this up soon, so I'm going to jump ahead to the TikTok because I can't open that. I just can't. I'm going to have to figure out what's wrong with it. It's telling me check my proxy things, and I'll shut everything down. Hopefully that'll make it so I can use archive, because there was another story I wanted to talk about. I just couldn't archive the fucker.
That happens.
It's the first time. I know you've had trouble with it before. It's the first time it's happened to me, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had trouble before where it like one of them won't open, but I could open the next one. I've never. Yeah, this is annoying. Oh God, am I gonna like or dislike this person?
What do you think?
All right.
We need to talk about this. I'm about to go to a movie, and it made me think, like, people say, oh, if you want to talk during a movie, you
What? Okay, maybe it's just me. Why she got that fake Hispanic accent going on?
She's street, yo.
She's street. All right.
She's street.
By the way, that's another thing that was not asked about in the Eliza Bleu interview. Like, how come your accent changed?
Because she's street too, yo.
How did you go
back into the life?
How did you go from ultra white girl to street, and now you're back to ultra white girl?
Yeah, because that street is like, that's a time and a place where bad shit happened, man. It's part of my trafficking. When you hear my streets accent come out, that means you're trafficking me. You're triggering me.
Did she get her like when somebody rammed it down her throat too far, it triggered the the street sound?
Maybe.
That's what, if you coat the throat just right, you'll come out like that.
Says
All
a lot
right.
about New Jersey. Oh,
It
hey,
does.
real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. Look at all these bitches. Grow backbone, losers. Yeah, this is the generation that we're raising up as a bunch of like pseudo Antifa struggle session thugs. Because they can't do anything on their own, but in a group, they feel emboldened to bully everybody around them.
Think of it like this. When we were kids, Jack, it was, hey, don't call them names. Now it's, hey, don't call them their name.
Yeah. You call them whatever they demand to be told.
How dare you call them by their name, you son of a bitch?
You
How were you raised? Anyhow, all right, let's go back to our blonde Hispanic friend here.
I'm about to go to a movie, and it made me think, like, people say, oh, if you want to talk during a movie, you shouldn't go to the cinema.
I'm not wrong that she's way too white for this accent, right?
No, you are absolutely correct. But this is what happens when you get people that want to be like pseudo ghetto. They want to sound ghetto, but they're really not.
Yeah, this is, I mean, almost AOC levels of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can sing for your mom. Her name is Sunshine. This is for her. Sunshine, happy birthday. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday, dear Sunshine. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you had a great one. That's awesome, man. We're getting up on that age. He said his mom's 50, man. We're kind of old.
It's just wee shit. I'm a delightful age. See, if you act 14, you can divide your age by that number, and there you go. You're somewhere in the middle. I'm really like 35.
My mom
taught me that math.
I'm every bit of my 47 years. I still feel 13, but
oh man, if you go by how I act, I'm like an 80-year-old man. Get off my fucking lawn.
All right, back to weirdo here. I'm sorry, I had to stop because that really was, her accent is really driving me nuts.
To a movie, and it made me.
I keep looking for anything like, okay, maybe there's some Hispanic in her, and no.
Just because you've had a Hispanic in you doesn't make you Puerto Rican all of a sudden.
It coated her throat and changed her accent.
Yeah.
You think, like, people say, oh, if you want to talk during a movie, you shouldn't go to the cinema. Lies. If you don't want to hear people talking during a movie, you shouldn't go to the cinema because, like,
you being a rude bitch means I should stay home.
Yeah, she has a reasoning for this too.
Like, isn't the whole thing about watching something with other people in the same room to like experience it together and
no, it's to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, see the big screen and get out of your house.
I'm not there to make friends with the 80 other people in the fucking room.
Yeah. It's rude to sit and talk during the theater, especially as much as tickets cost now.
Yes. Whatever happened to fucking politeness?
Decorum is a lost art, my friend. No, and now it's all about whatever you want in the moment. Everybody else should conform to.
laugh and scream and have full-on analyses about the characters. Like,
no. Laughing and screaming is fine if you're scared at it and you have a blurt. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's a difference between laughing, screaming, and having full-on analysis of the characters.
Yeah, massive difference. What gets me is like sporting events have similar rules of decorum. You're not there to make friends and like sit down with somebody. This is not a mega church where you're going to make buddies. You're there to be around other people without interacting with them.
At certain sporting events, I mean, there's a camaraderie that goes there as you're all cheering on your team and you'll high five to some people and maybe a quick thing. But for the most part, you're watching the game.
Yeah.
In the
you're
movie,
watching a movie. You all go, ooh, and
yes,
ooh, that's neat at the same time. But you're not sitting there like, I wonder what his motivation is. Because the person next to you is going to be like, are you trying to rape me or something? What's happening?
The full-on analysis of the character, one, it's in the middle of the movie. You can't do that yet. You do that in the car or at the restaurant after.
Well, I can tell you what this bitch really does is, I don't like him. He's ugly.
Yeah.
Let me call my friend.
No.
And then she'll call her friend and be like, you won't believe what just happened in this movie.
I'll tell you exactly what she does, and I can base it on her fake ass accent. She acts as a stereotype of black women watching movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think this is how they do it.
While you're watching it, if you want to sit in silence like a fucking stone, just go home. Like, and yeah, sorry, I'm that person. I am that person. Take me to fucking jail. I'm gonna be disrespectful every time because
You just acknowledge it's disrespectful.
Yep.
All right.
She knows she's an annoying bitch. This is an attention seeker.
Yep.
That's why she has a stupid fake accent, I think. Is like, look at me, talk to me, look at how special and unique I am. I'm street yo, and you got to respect that because otherwise you're violating my culture that I'm appropriating. She is all about people paying attention to her, no matter if it's good or bad.
I will say things. I will say things during the movie. I will say a lot of things during the movie. Yum, yum, yum. That's me. And that's just what it
Yump, yump, yump.
Yump, yump, yump.
Oh, God, you are such a bigot.
should be like. I feel like we should change the culture around going and see a movie. It should always be chitty chatty in the sense.
Yeah, I'd love to go to a movie and miss half of it because your dumb ass is talking.
This is why a lot of people don't go to films anymore at the theater. Because of people like this. Because they sit there and talk through the whole thing, and the theaters are too fucking afraid to throw people out.
This is
The
the
only
second...
people I see thrown out of my local theaters are white people like this, who are like, pretending they're black. But black people that sit on their phone and jabber through the whole thing, they won't go near them.
This is the second time that we've got a pause face with her where specifically her right eye is closed more than her left.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with her. That's not normal.
Cinema. That's just my opinion. We need to talk about this.
You can have your opinion. You're fucking stupid, but I hope that when you get your ass kicked for talking in the theater that you record it so we can watch that too. Because somebody's eventually going to catch up to this bitch. And my guess would be it's going to be a black woman trying to watch the movie.
Yeah. Oh, because they're the only ones that have the guts to say anything and get away with it.
She's going to turn around and pop this bitch.
Yeah, be like, shut up, bitch.
I'm not encouraging it, but who goes to the theater so you can talk to everybody around you and ignore the movie?
I don't know. It's weird.
Honestly, she would be better suited at a game because they will put up with that more at a sporting event than at a fucking movie.
Yeah, but even then, it's weird. I don't want to talk to the people around me. I want to see it on a big screen, enjoy some popcorn, kind of get out, be social without being sociable. You know what I mean? You're around other people, but you don't want to talk to them. It's like going to the mall. It doesn't mean I want to talk to people just because I'm at a place full of people.
I'm not like antisocial when I go out, and if somebody talks to me, I'll talk to them, but not during the movie. As everybody's getting seated and stuff, if there's a little conversation, somebody asks me how I am, I'll talk to them. Once the movie starts, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, I expect everybody to shut up. Even I kind of get annoyed when people talk through previews because half the time the previews are better than the movie these days. But once the lights go down, shut the fuck up.
I hear you. I'll forgive it during previews.
Yeah.
For me, the movie. What I'd really like to see, go to a play and try that shit.
Oh, that would go over well.
Go try that. They will kick your ass out. They won't even care.
Yeah, they're not going to put up with that shit at a stage play.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. Bitch, you ain't Tom Servo. Shut up. Indeed. Just shut up.
Yeah, exactly. They treat everything like it's Night of the Apollo or Mr. Science Theater. It's fucking obnoxious. I hate movie talkers or people that don't shut their phone off.
Oh yeah, shut your fucking phone off during a theater experience. What I really hate about this woman is I don't think she actually believes in any of this. I really do think she's just trying to act like she thinks black people act. You're being a stereotype and not even a good one. And that is not to say if you've been to a black theater, yes, they will talk, but they talk to the screen. It's actually part of the experience. They're not turning to their friend and having deep discussions about well, how did she say it? The characters.
Yeah, it's character analysis.
No, it's yelling at the screen. Don't go there, bitch.
Yeah, see, that doesn't bother me nearly as much as like the people that always end up sitting in front of me are on their fucking cell phones. It'll ring in the middle of the movie. They'll be, "Oh yeah, girl, I'm just watching this movie, and you won't believe what the Tom Cruise is doing because he's flying this plane and he just shot. Oh my god, he just shot somebody down. Oh, this is amazing. You have to see that they'll recreate the sequence that you just watched."
No, if it the experience I'm talking about is basically laughing. It's basically the gasp. It is a visceral reaction kind of thing. Not do you think he's motivated by hate here because he was beaten up as a child? Not deep character analysis. Like deep character analysis. Who the fuck does that?
Oh,
Nobody.
I would think somebody's a serial killer if they turn to me and start talking about character motivation and like, oh, I bet that he had experienced some trauma in his youth. You know, this is fiction, right? Shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
Yeah, take that with your friends after the movie and leave me the fuck out of it.
Yeah, don't make eye contact with me at the movie.
Anyhow, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up. Gonna go play some more Hogwarts, and yeah, because that sounds like a thing I need to do, Jack.
Oh, fair enough.
I've been having a lot of fun with that game. It has its woke moments, but they are ignorable. Even the trans character, Jack. I don't know if I told you this. They put a woman's body in there, but they didn't change the man's voice.
Yeah, I saw the clip of it online.
Yeah, they don't make a big deal about it being trans, and actually, it could just be a heavy smoker for all we know. So I don't mind that. It's just a quick thing that happens. And I discussed more of this in depth on the show this morning. So check that out if you're more interested. But it's a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying the game. So I'll be over there on twitch.tv/rantingmonkey in a few moments. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Sorry about my internet problems, whatever's going on. So I couldn't bring the articles actually on screen for you. I'll try to get that fixed before the next show. And thank you for all the donations. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop some links in the chat there. Real quickly, though, thank you, Ebony Williams. Nice ghetto accent. Oh, I end up sitting immediately behind people like that every fucking time for some reason. They always come in right before the movie starts and sit right directly in front of me. I think they do it on purpose half the time. But thank you, Ebony. Yeah, so I did a stream earlier today. I'm gonna drop yesterday. I'll drop the link to that. Did a live reading of that thread of that crazy person that was talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah, I saw.
That was a good time. And that's all I got. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. And I hope you all have a lovely day.
Don't forget to share this with your friends, your family, that bitch you hate. Hit the like button or the thumbs up button, depending on where you are on your way out. Twitch.tv/rantingmonkey for some more Hogwarts Legacy here in just a little while. Thank you for joining us, Jack. A pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a wonderful night. We'll talk to y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Sometimes I sing about my wiener. Sometimes I sing about my dick. When my cat gets a fur ball, she ends up getting sick. It rhymed, all right?